And welcome back to Habs Unfiltered. I'm your host, Blain. I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Smith.
Good evening.
And we have a special treat. We have Trege Wilson.
Dun, 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 dun. You know what? You're not
Did
going to
you
play
know?
Back in Black?
Yeah. Did you know Trege was kidnapped by gypsies? We had just rescued him.
I was. I was. But here I am.
The Roma
They
King
ta
himself.
they tattooed my neck.
And now that he's fully recovered, he's back.
Well, I wouldn't say fully, but
Yeah.
It's nice for
I'm
it's
here.
nice for the group to be together again. It's been a long time.
Way too fucking long.
Yes.
Really long
As
time.
as founding member of Habs Unfiltered, I am glad to be back.
Well, we're happy to have you back.
We needed our anchor. There we are.
Boy, do I drag this down.
Oh, well, there's more good news coming because we're going to talk about hockey in July.
Not that much has happened, but
Eh, still, we'll talk about it. So, as we record, it's the 30th of June. Tomorrow is July 1st, which is free agency day. But we'll talk about a few items before we even get to UFAs. We'll just kick it off with Gallagher traded to Vancouver. Treg, it's been a while. Everyone's dying to hear from you. What are your thoughts?
I've seen a lot of people complaining on social media that Gallagher's thing was they didn't get enough back for him. And to me, I don't think it had anything to do with getting anything for him at all. I think it was just a matter of putting him to where he would be happy. And it was the worst kept secret in the league that he was probably going to go to Vancouver. It was just a matter of how are they going to work out his contract because Vancouver didn't want $6.5 million on a possible third line player. Um, so I think Kent Hughes, in doing what Kent Hughes has done a couple times now, is he talked with the team the player wanted to go to and came up with the best deal for the player instead of the best deal. The team has still worked out for them because now instead of spreading that 6.5 over the next 3 years, they're only going to have to do it over the next one. So they're going to pay half of it now, and that's it. It's done at the end of the year. I think it was a good move. I mean, we all were fans of Gallagher. We were all, he had the heart and the grit of the team. Um, I was personally this year ready. I was like, okay, Gallagher, there's nothing left in the tank, at least here in Montreal. You know what I mean? Like, I was already thinking during the season, how are we going to get rid of this contract at the end of the year? Because I was thinking buyout, but then the Vancouver thing came up, and I knew after the first buyout went by and they didn't buy him out that they were probably had a deal in place to put him out there. So I'm happy for Gallagher. He gets to play another season. I'm sad because there's another guy we're not going to see play his thousandth game in Montreal, even though he'd have to play, I think, two more seasons to get his thousandth game. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's the name of the game. Since the Patrick Waugh trade, I do not now hold my heartstrings to any player too strongly. So hopefully it works out for Brendan in Vancouver, and now it frees up some cap space for Montreal for the 3.25 million for Montreal for the free agency, or to sign one of these possible RFAs that Montreal sounds like they're in the talks to get.
Yeah, they're definitely in the running for a couple, but we'll stick with Gallagher for now. So with this retention, the Canadians now have about $14.25 million to play with this year because they still have about 1.8 million in bonus overages penalties from last season. So doing this without giving up any assets is a huge win for the Canadians. Matt, you have any thoughts on the trade?
I just kind of echo what he said, what Treg said. It's the same thing. they did a solid for the player. I think it was again worst kept secret. I think we knew that he was on his way out one way or the other, and this is one that's great for the player. It looks good on the organization, and teams or players that possibly want to come to Montreal or teams that want to do business with Montreal are going to see this, and they're building something really really good in Montreal. They're building a culture. They're treating their players right. They're treating they've the transparency is there once again, right? And I think that it was the best move for both sides. I wish them all the best in Vancouver. Looking forward to seeing the schedule come out because I think that'd be a really good game to be at the Bell Center when he comes back. I think that would be a really special moment for him and for the team. So yeah, just wish him all the best. He was a fan favorite. The guy wore his heart on his sleeve every shift, and if he plays the right way, he's the kind of player that I can see getting an opportunity with a playoff team.
Yeah, they can flip him for an asset at the trade deadline, which works for Vancouver.
Yeah,
But from the Canadians' point of view, like you said, they did right by the player, and so now they've shown instead of taking an asset back, which they probably could have been able to trade him somewhere else
right.
and get an asset, they gave the player exactly what he was looking for. Uh, they took a hit on any return, although this worked out. This was a good a good outcome for all sides. But the league takes notice. The players are looking at this and like, look what the Canadians have done. They've done right by him. So that's Petrie, Monahan, Gallagher. They have a track record of doing right by their players. That's part of that whole building of a culture. So that'll attract some players for sure, especially when the team's doing as good as they are. Um, and now that takes us a little. That first trade is done. That takes us to a few minor trades. So they were working on some minor league stuff, moving guys in and out, trying to help Laval. So Joshua Roy is out. Um, William Trudeau is out.
Luke Tuck.
Again, they're doing right by their two players.
Mm.
Treg, thoughts on those two blockbusters?
Well, Joshua Waugh has all the skill and has all the whatever, but he just fell in the depth chart with Demidov and Hag and all these guys coming in. Can never say his name right from Russia. There's Zegorov or whatever his name is. Him coming and Joshua Waugh is not a third, fourth line player. He's not a defensive minded player. Not that I really think he's going to crack anyone's top six in the NHL, maybe on a struggling team that's rebuilding. But he looked good at times in his Montreal, but then also he looked not so good in Montreal. So I think this is a good change of scenery for him. I believe he went to Utah. Is
He
that
did, yeah.
correct? Am I?
Yeah.
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 And so maybe he can crack maybe a third line there and be like the offensive guy on the line or whatever. If not, he'll be with the Roadrunners there in Tucson, and we'll see what he can do. We'll see if he can change his game around now. The other one, William Trudeau. Again, he just got lost in the shuffle of I believe it was a left-handed defenseman. Am I?
It
Am
was.
I?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is, yeah.
So Montreal has a plethora still of left-handed defensemen, and I know we're going to get to the draft, but we noticed the defensemen they picked in the draft were not left-handed, and so it was just another. He has enough talent to be maybe a fill-in guy that you can call up from Laval, but not enough for you to. They want guys that they know are going to stick in Laval. They know, and I think they're just trying to give their guys a chance to say, "Hey, I know you didn't make it here, but let's move you over here and see what happens." Right? Luke Tuck was the other guy that got moved out, and again, I think that was just that he got traded for a defenseman. Trudeau got traded for a forward, and then I believe Waugh got traded for a defenseman. So it's almost like they were just swapping guys out, and they were also, I think, making room for guys to come in and play too that are done in college and stuff like that. So I mean, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting year in Laval. There's going to be a new head coach that we don't know yet who is. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time. And like again, Jason Cedric, I believe, was in charge of most of those trades. So I think he just needed
Yeah,
approval from Kent Hughes. So yeah, it's looking good. There's no real money lost really because it's just AHL contracts that they got rid of. But I mean, we all know, again, we'll get to it later. Montreal's people are waiting for that big move because every year at this time, Kent Hughes does a big move. But as I said before, Hughes isn't going to do anything to make the team worse in either in the short term or long term. So we always have to remember that. He's always thinking 5 years ahead. So he's not going to, unless he's getting something major, he's not trading off all his assets for the short term. So
yeah.
we have we
So
have to keep that in mind.
moving out Luke Tuck, and I know we'll talk about this a little bit more when we get to the draft, but the organization needs more size and toughness. So people see this Luke Tuck trade and they're thinking, what the hell? Why are they doing that? Well, the guy they get back, Hunter McCowan from Columbus, is a solid two-way center. He's good size. He physical enough, but it opens up more ice time for guys like Thorne and Jack Eye and uh, whoever else they may decide to bring in. And it gives Tuck a better chance at an NHL contract. Now, on the other side, trading Roy to Utah, they get Zuber back in the trade. So he's a big left-handed defenseman who replaces what they lost with William Trudeau. He's 6'3", he's about 215, really physical.
Play
Uh,
both sides as well.
he can play both sides. He boxes out real well. So anything they had lost with Trudeau leaving, they gain back. And still not talking about the guys in the draft, but just the fact that they picked so many defensemen,
Yeah.
getting defensemen in these trades, something tells me that whatever they have boiling right now includes more than one defenseman.
Or includes a defenseman, or they're prepping for within the AHL ranks somebody to make the jump, whether it be Engstrom, whether it be Reinbacher, etc. And they're trying to make sure that those guys are going to be looked after as well, because you're still going to
Mm-hmm.
have a guy like Middlestead who's going to be there for his first full season. Same thing as Owen Protz
Yeah.
and Bryce Pickford as well.
But you see an overarching theme there: big, physical,
Right,
mobile.
right.
That's the defense they're trying to add because they've organizationally, they already have a bunch of puck movers.
Yep.
Now they need guys who can clear the zone, they can clear the front of the net, they can intimidate physically on both sides. And
Yep.
that's what it looks like they're doing. Uh, bit of a get tough strategy because
They
you saw
learn
how
from the
they got
playoffs.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
And you can
because
tell
of
with
that,
yeah.
do you think that this year's playoffs is what really set it off for them to switch to this and how they went and drafted who they drafted?
I think it was more they knew that's what they needed. It's they're at the point in the drafting where they don't have to necessarily go for BPA. You know what? If that makes any sense, like years before when they were doing the rebuild, when they were finishing last and getting Slafkovsky, they were trying to find the best fit for the team and the best. You know what I mean? The BPA according to
Yeah.
them. Like people argue, well, Reinbacher wasn't BPA. Well, if we haven't noticed by now, Kent Hughes has a plan, and it's a big plan, and it's a long-term plan. And this year they went, okay, this is the size of our team. This is what we have. We need, we have Hudson. We need someone to protect Hudson. We got to draft players to protect him. We got to draft players that can step up to guys like the Kachucks and the Tom Wilsons and you know what I mean? We need guys like that. Anderson's, he's can do it, but he's not the guy we want to do it. You know what I mean? Like we need someone in our top six that can, throw the body around. We see what Toronto did, and they didn't put that guy in their top six. You're not going to trade for that guy. You know what I mean? You're going to have to draft that guy. Now, is Gleb that guy? Who knows, right? But when you're picking 28, there's not a lot to choose from. You
Well, they
got it.
moved
You
up
got it.
2 spots to get him because I think they were worried
Yeah,
that
26.
someone else was
Yeah,
going to grab him.
he was
So,
scheduled. He was projected to go around 24 to 27, I believe.
well, some teams actually had him on their list much higher,
Yeah,
like late teens, mid teens,
yeah,
that high.
yeah.
So, and this is information I've gotten from NHL scouts, from other organizations. I'm not going to tell you who they are because then they'll stop talking to me. So, but legitimately, mid teens to 20 is where they had him. So, trading up, that's probably why the Canadians ended up trading up. Not just because he's 6'3" and hits everything like a Mack truck. Although I'm sure that helped.
Absolutely. Like these kind of players, they're like they called him a unicorn, and they said the same thing about Florian when they drafted him. It's because these players that fit this profile, this old school kind of throwback profile, um, players don't play like that anymore, and that's just the way that it is. You see all these development camps and skill camps and stuff like that. They don't teach this stuff. This is on the player. This is, a lot of players that are coming up now, they're looking for, hey, I can do a Michigan, or I can flip the puck this way, or I can do this, or I can do this highlight reel. This isn't the kind of guy that's doing these kind of highlight reels, but his highlight reels that you're watching are him absolutely destroying guys. And at the same time, being a guy that has some skill as well. He has some legitimate. He's not a dangler or anything like that, but I think this guy's development path is going to be quick and steady. And 3 years in a row now, Canadians' top pick comes from Russia.
They the Kent Hughes has said that this guy's almost NHL ready.
Yeah.
So, and someone asked me about him on X, and I said I think he needs to improve his skating, but he's pretty fast, but he's straight fast. Like it's not
Yes.
a
He's a straight line player.
he's a straight line, very straight line player,
Yeah.
and he can hit. He is a train. He is a
He,
train
I
that's
I think that he just got in within the torpedo organization, and he just saw the word
yeah.
torpedo and was like, "That's how I gotta play." All right, I'm in.
Well,
Apparently, he chases players out into the parking lot if they piss him off enough. Apparently,
cool. I hope so.
apparently, I
Yeah,
will keep that. I will keep that lore alive
Allegedly.
for him.
right.
Yes, yes.
Allegedly. Um, and I know there's this big comparison. The comparable is Tom Wilson. I think that's not fair to
No,
Pugachev. He is not a Tom Wilson. He's not a point per game power forward. He is more of a Josh Anderson. He's fast. He's straight line. He goes to the net. He doesn't handle the puck that well. He can shoot. His playmaking's okay, but he's more consistent physically than Anderson.
Yeah,
So if he reaches his top, for me, his top end is going to be a 15 to 20 goal guy on a third line. But that
yeah.
guy in the playoffs is going to be gold.
I had somebody that kind of compared him to like a Kiefer Sherwood, but more fit like
Sure.
with more physicality. With like
Like
Sherwood,
actual size.
right? But like Sherwood plays pretty big and he put the puck in the net and everything. So
I like the Anderson analogy, but I'm just going to throw this out there. Look what Kapanen did playing with Demidov,
yeah,
right? You put this guy on a line with, say, Demidov in an actual 2C, you could get 30 goals out of him. All you got to do is with Demidov, you just need someone to be in the right place at the right time, and he will get them the puck.
he'll put the puck on your stick. Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, even
because I'm telling you now, Kapanen's 22 goals were because Demidov he was just going to the right spot at the right. He knew where to go. He knew where to go and what to do, and Demidov got him the puck. And I think, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Gleb is going to be this second line power forward winger on that line. However, I don't see any reason why you can't do that, especially in a playoff series when you have two. Again, you need an actual 2C. You need an actual skilled center with Demidov and an actual skilled center. You put him on that line, and he's going to do what they hoped Josh Anderson was going to do with Suzuki and Caulfield.
Well, in a few years' time, when he's actually on the team, he's probably going to get a chance or two to play up in the lineup a little bit, and
yes.
especially on Demidov's line. And what you're going to probably see is Pugachev forcing turnovers. And because he plays the opposite wing, the turnovers are going to go to Demidov's side. So that's what he's going to intimidate them. They're going to throw the puck away. Demidov will get there. He'll get the puck more often, and that'll be beneficial. But I can't see him being a steady presence on a second line.
No. I want to see what they do with them at development camp. And what they do for those games against the opposition, because I'd love to see him if they're going to use him more as possibly a second line, third line role, and they want to see what he's got. I'd put him on a line with say Hage and Zarofsky, and see what that line can do at development camp, and be like, okay, you've got two skilled guys you're playing with, go get them the puck, right?
I was going to say if Hage turns out to be the guy we're hoping he's going to be the future 2C. That's what I meant. Him on a line with say Hage and Demidov, like Demidov with 2 or 3 years experience, Hage maybe with a year, and then Hage comes in. I think that would be an excellent line as long as everyone knows their role. However, now imagine they go out and get their 2C, whoever that might be, and then he's there, and then you have a Hage. Whatever that Russian guy's name, Zarakov or whatever the hell, Zhuravsky, a Gleb on that third line, you just turn your team into a 3-line offensive machine.
Yeah.
Really, or potential.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Zhuravsky is going to be as good as Demidov. I really don't. I don't think he's going to be.
No.
I don't see him being a point per game guy. But if he can be a consistent 60-point scorer, like a consistent 20, 25, 60, 50 to 60 point scorer, I'm happy with that. And this is a guy too that you can push up and down the lineup. He can be a steady the offensive guy on the third line, but if Demidov goes down or Caulfield goes down, this guy can slot right in there because he has the skill to do so. I mean, or he's trade bait, one or the other. One of the other.
Yeah. And you look at the rest of the guys that they brought in the draft, there's a theme. Big, physical. I'll just name some of the names here. Timofey Runso, the overager that played for Victoria in the WHL. He put up points. He's a big right-handed defenseman. Cooper Cleaves, another big, heavy defenseman who plays a heavy, heavy game. J.S. Degno, not related to J.J. Degno. That's not his dad. He is apparently one of the biggest, most vicious hitters in this draft.
Yeah, he's in Muskegon. Yeah.
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 So the Canadians went for,
and now he's going to Brantford.
Yep. Bulldogs.
Yeah, he's going there where Protz just came from. So.
And who else played with the Bulldogs organization?
The Jackknives played there too. Yeah.
Exactly. So they're good at developing very mean, angry players.
Right.
So that seems to be the overarching theme of their draft this year.
Yeah.
Is to add those complementary muscle.
Well, you can only, I say, like Trege started with this when we got into this part of the segment. Like, you can only add so much skill, and for the longest time, they have been able to pick players first round, second round, third round, whatever else, and they're hitting. They're doing really, really well, and those players are being developed well. They're doing really well within the teams that they're going on, and you're looking at the Canadians farm system and you're saying, holy shit, like, they've got a lot of skilled players. And now it's, what are you going to do with them? How many of these guys are actually going to play for the Canadians, and how many of them can be used as trade bait to make your team better right now? Not all these guys are going to play for the Canadians, unfortunately. When we've got our favorites, and that's just the way. Just again, it's just part of the business.
Well,
Everyone's,
I don't know if
yeah, go ahead.
we're going to get into this later, but there are a few big fish that people want Montreal to trade for. You're
Yeah.
not going to get those big fish without giving up something in
That's right.
return,
Yeah.
right? So you're going to have to get used to having a player or a prospect that you really like
Yeah.
not being with your team if you want this other person.
Right. Like we're looking at the buildup of this team right now. You're looking at the defense, you're looking at the top six, you're looking at some of these guys that you know that are, let's just say, an untouchable. And these guys are starting to fill out their spots. Now it's okay, and I know we're going to get into this, but it's, what can we do to make the second line better? What can we do to make life better for Lane Hudson? What can we do for this? What can we do for this? Right? Um, Again, exciting time to be a fan. It really is. Like when
Yeah.
we're talking about like the prospects that we have versus, well, we didn't have to go out and get the best player because we've already drafted a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I think we're doing
Well,
okay.
and part of the need thing, like they do need to plug some holes on the NHL roster, but having so many good prospects means you can package some of those up to fill those holes. Like you said, they're not all going to play for Montreal. So everyone's hoping for Ryan Bacher to hit, make the team next year, and be that right hand D. Well, what if he doesn't? What are the Canadians going to do? Well, they've got other guys they could probably bring up. Like they might be able to go and kidnap Bogdan Konyuchov out of Russia, bring him in. They're very, very high on him. And don't be surprised if one or two of Angstrom, Arbor Jade Struble somehow get traded to
Right.
fill some other need. It's just the nature of
And I
this
mean,
league.
I see a lot of people that thought the draft was underwhelming. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, what blah blah blah." But I think people get into the sense because we were rebuilding, we were doing an actual rebuild for a few years. That, oh man, we need this guy, we need this guy, we need, and it's like I said before, and Matt reiterated, was we're not at that stage now where we got to go out and get this the highest skilled guy we can get drafting 25. We got to go out and see, can we get a complementary player that we can move up and down the lineup as we need, right? So I think that would be a good segue to go into our second part of the show,
Well,
free
let's do
agency.
that now. Yeah, so we should definitely get into the free agency, but before we do, we just want to acknowledge Matt's work on OnlyFans. He is now surrounded by fans on either side, like he's in Paris, France.
Yeah. That's my two subscribers.
Wow, you're a man of the people.
Oh, I really am.
Oh boy. All right. So into free agency stuff. So, like we've been alluding to, tomorrow's July 1st, and there's pressure for the Canadians to go and fill some needs. Free agency is definitely not the place to do it because they're going to overpay.
Especially this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, yeah. Don't expect any big names. So AJ Greer, it might be the biggest name they go after.
But
I've
AJ
seen
Greer,
His
he
rights have already been traded.
already
Well,
been
his
traded.
UFA
to
rights have already
Anaheim,
been traded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but he's still going to test the market. Um, but don't expect him in Montreal. But that's probably who they'd be going after. But then there's Anthony Mantha, Jack Roslovich, Logan Stanley. Those are all names you're probably going to have attached to the Canadians.
Yeah.
Tarasenko, Mason Marchment was another name I've heard attached to the
Yeah,
Canadians.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
if you ask me,
And we are.
Anthony Mantha, I think, is just attached to the Canadians because he's the highest scoring besides Alex Ovechkin, who will not be signing with the Canadians.
And he's from Quebec.
Yeah, and he's from Quebec. I don't see them going out and I truly believe they're going to try to trade for at least a top six winger or center. Now, I heard something today. I was listening to the Sick podcast with Eric Engels and Tony Mariano, and Eric said he truly believes the Canadians do not need to get a center. They just
No.
need to get another top six player that can complement Demidov.
Yep.
And they
Yeah.
can plug that center hole in with Kapanen or whoever they decide to plug that hole in. The
Yep.
center is not like everyone's like, oh, we need a 2C. I agree. We do need a 2C. But if we can get and this is, I'm going to lead this into the whole Marchelenko and the Robertson thing. If we can get someone like that to play on the wing, it really doesn't matter who your center is.
Yeah.
We just need someone that's gonna, because if you watch the Demidov line, Kapanen was the center for the faceoffs, but Demidov was pretty much the guy that
He was the play driver.
He was the play driver of that line.
Yeah.
Right. And again, like I say, Kapanen just kind of went to where we had to go, and he ends up getting 22 goals out of it, and has a
And he
great
was the defensive guy.
season. Yeah, and so although I do believe we need that 2C, but if they honestly feel that Hag is going to be their 2C of the future, they can go out and get a whoever, like a Marchman or whoever. I'm trying to think of who's a C here. Whoever they want to plug it at the UFE at a 2-year, 3-year little. Here's $4 million, but they're not going to get anyone on the UFA nowadays. Look at the some of the people that sign with some teams here,
Yeah.
like that.
I've got a center in mind. I've got a center in mind.
Yeah.
And if we look at Hage, and Michigan right now is gearing up for a run. And you look at the players that they now have, and the players that have just brought in, like Landon DuPont's going to be on that team. Chase Reed's going to be on that team. You're going to have TJ Hughes is already on that team, et cetera, et cetera. Like they've already got a decent team, and now they're bringing in these other guys. So there's going to be a hell of a lot of focus on that team, especially now that they've got arguably who's going to go first overall at next year's draft.
Yeah.
Right. So I can see that team going far. I can see Hage playing a big role on that team. So we know he's going to more than likely be a center, but he could play at the wing at the NHL level. So I'm looking at a guy who come in on a 1-year deal, who's give or take local. He's got some experience that can win a shitload of faceoffs. That's Claude Giroux. He has not said yes to the Sens yet. He's not going to spend. He's not going to cost a lot of money. He went to Ottawa because he's from Hearst, right? It's relatively close still. Still play within the division. He was like 63% last year in faceoff, still put up 49 points. And on a team like the Ottawa Senators, he was a plus 20.
And we all know the Senators are terrible.
Right. But that just like it blew my mind. I was like, that's a typo. No, he's a plus 20 last year, 14 goals, 35 assists, 63% in faceoffs. And he's a guy that can elevate if need be. And he's played a lot of hockey. He's played over 1,300 games in the league, and he's got 1,100 points. Like the guy's been around for a hell of a long time. Even if he comes in and is like kind of one of the new veterans or the new veteran on this team with a guy like Gallagher leaving, I see it personally as a good fit. It's a stopgap for 1 year, and then if you do bring in that winger, well, there's your second line for at least a year.
How old is Grolu? How old is he?
Giroux?
38, yeah. I believe.
Giroux's 38. He'll be 39 in January.
So,
but he did play in his last 4 seasons, 82, 82, 81, 82.
And that's actually, I never thought of
right?
him, but that's actually a good thing because he's not going to want to sign any more than 2 years.
Right.
Three, maybe two with an option, maybe for a third or something. But he's not going to. So that's actually not a bad fit, and that gives Haig. I agree. I think Haig's gonna. Although there's been talk that Haig may not play in Michigan, but I think Haig's gonna.
I think he
He's
is
gonna.
with,
I think
I
he
really
is.
do.
That Michigan team's going to be deadly
Yes.
in the
And he's going to want
NCAA
to be
next
part
year.
of it.
Yeah,
If
and
if he didn't think that, or if the team didn't want to give him that opportunity, he would have signed his contract.
yeah, and so I truly that's not actually not a bad idea. See, I was looking more to them um, offer sheeting someone that
Right.
that's what I was looking at.
Yeah. I'm
But it
looking more
depends.
at the UFA market, or if
Yeah.
like the other guy that I've brought up and you've brought up before on the show is O'Reilly, but I just don't think that I don't think that the management group that just came into Nashville wants to move him.
O'Reilly's not a UFA either. I don't
No,
think
he's
this
not. He's
season.
still
No, he's got a
he's
couple
still
years.
Yeah,
I think he's got
yeah.
2 years left on his deal. But
But
he would be the kind of player that I would be happy to bring in.
but the Canadians are looking for guys that fit the age group or the age of the core.
Right.
They're looking for more long term. If they're not going to, I don't think they're going to be looking for someone to plug into 2C for a year or two. They can still get by with Kapanen. It's adding a winger, like you guys mentioned
Yeah.
earlier,
Yeah.
adding some scoring on the wing.
Yeah.
And that's why I think they're going to be pushing hard for trade. I believe Eric Engels talked about that on Tony's show, like you said.
Yeah.
According to Angles, they did go in hard for Machenko.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think they're going to continue on that.
Yeah, and I think there's where there's smoke, there's fire. I think they are. He has the same agent as every Russian in the world, so Dan Milton, and
Milstein, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, Milstein. That's what I meant. Yeah, so I mean, but I also, what about if Marchenko doesn't work out, offer sheet Adam Fantelli.
That would be
Offer
something.
sheet Leo Carlson. Like you're going to lose your four. You're going to lose your four draft picks, but they're not in the area to be. They're done that. We're past the whole save our draft picks and make sure we get a first thing. Like that's what I think. I don't think they will do that. I don't see it, but it looks like Columbus. Everyone's jumping ship. So
Yeah.
Fantilli might be like, yeah, I mean, kid's only 22 years old, so it's not like he fits right in there. He's at least a 2C
Oh, he's
centerman,
definitely a 2C.
right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm just
they've
throwing
got
out ideas. I don't think they'll do the offer sheet.
no,
Or Connor Bedard. Offer sheet Connor Bedard from Chicago and carry on with life.
yeah, that's gonna happen. No, but with Columbus, yeah, they a couple of the big names are jumping ship, but they've got guys coming. So Caden Lindstrom looks healthy and ready to go for the season. Expect him to be on the roster. I'm not saying he's going to be your 1C, but he should be in the NHL by then, which to me says if they trade both their Norris Trophy winning defenseman and their 30 plus goal scoring winger, one's going to be for players, the other's going to be for futures.
Well, that's just it. And Waddell's already come out and said he's not getting rid of Wierenski for. Well, Waddell hasn't said that, but the insiders have said he's not trading Wierenski for futures. He's trading Wierenski for roster players. But he never said that about Marchment. So, or not Marchment, but Marchenko. So I do believe here, but here's the thing: if Montreal put a huge package in for Marchenko, you're looking at more than one first round pick, right? And you're looking at either Hag is untouchable. That was said on Eric Engels said that. That's the only player. That means probably
Swarovski
or Reinbacher or both,
Yeah.
right? For it. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that move. Trade it all, I say. If I'm happy, if I'm okay with them doing a 4 first round pick offer sheet, I'm perfectly okay with them giving up two first round picks and two top prospects.
Maybe they keep going after Russians and they get Voronkov as well.
Maybe they bring in Ovechkin. Who knows what they're going to do?
Yeah.
Well, I
No,
mean, but
they are.
Yeah.
realistically, I do believe this offseason's a failure if they don't get a winger or a center for that second line.
They've got to do something. 100%. They definitely got to do something for that second line.
Yeah.
That is the big piece. I know a lot of people have talked right hand defenseman, someone that can play with
I wouldn't really
Hudson.
worry about that right now.
I think they can wait 100%. I
Yeah.
think that can wait a little bit longer. I think that we see that they can kind of play switcheroo with some of the defensemen. We Hudson could play with fucking Carl Elsner, and he would probably make him an all-star, right? So I said it. I said it. I said it. I said it.
You know what? Bring Peter Popovich out of retirement. Throw that big giant pillow next to him, and everything will be okay.
Yeah.
But I think RHD is the least of our problems. Because I mean, we've had I think every left-handed defenseman play on the wrong side for the last 3 years
Right.
at some point. So okay, let's just go with it. I don't think Hudson. I think Hudson's doing pretty good. Having this, him and Struhl actually pair up really well. If you look at their stats, they pair up well. I didn't mind Hudson with Dobson. I didn't mind that pair up. But we do have a big hole in the right hand defense for that second pairing. But
Yeah.
throw Gooley and Matheson together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to me, Gooley's been proven, and healthy Gooley and there's another guy that could be on the trade block if we're trying to get a
Yeah.
big guy is Caden. And again, I'm okay with this. I'm okay. I don't want to see him go, but we're very strong on the left side. We're very strong.
Yep.
So if we have to get rid of Gooley, we have to get rid of Gooley,
Yep.
right?
You got to
that's
give
just
to
the way
get.
it is. Yeah, yeah. Because right now, if we get that big right-handed defenseman, Gooley's a third pair. He's not jumping ahead of Matheson.
No, well,
You know.
he'll probably end up playing about 20 minutes a game. They'll even it out with penalty kill, all that stuff.
Yeah,
But his role is going to be lesser than.
yeah.
I mean, if you want to get a top end player, you're not going to get him for Ryder, Halak in a second.
You could try.
You
I
gotta
would throw that out there. That's a pretty good deal. That's actually a pretty good deal.
Travis Moen, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's a 30-goal scorer with a goalie that almost got you to the Stanley Cup. You know what? Throw Steve Penny in there as the backup, and you're good to go.
Right? But it's going to take more than a couple of mid to late round picks, your D level prospects or busts or whatever the frig else you think. No one's taking your trash to give you gold.
Right.
So if you want gold, you have to give gold.
And you have to think your first round pick is a late first round pick now. It's not a.
Who gives a shit about that?
No, but I'm just saying it's harder to trade a late first round pick than it is to trade a.
Yeah.
Unless that team already has a first round pick and they can get two for the price of one.
Right. And if you're at the point where you're talking,
that's the final.
Well, if you're talking offer sheets, right, you can be bold and you can say, okay, I'm going to give up 4. Well, there's 4 late firsts.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you give up 4 late firsts for a star player? 100%.
100%. Hell, I'd do it for not an offer sheet. If Marchenko was going to cost me the next 4 first round picks, I'd be like, well, boys, find a way to get a first round pick somehow, at some point. So we're not sitting here without any first. If Toronto can get a first round pick every year, even though they don't have one, any team can get a first round pick.
Right.
And it'll just be another late first round pick. That's all it'll be, right? So
it's all good. It'll end up in Boston anyway. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Toronto, Boston's farm team.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about guys that we think are going to come in.
The Ducks just signed AJ Greer.
There you go.
So there you go. Yeah.
I was getting right into that type of player. So a lot of people were saying AJ Greer. Is there anybody else that kind of fits that mold that's on your guys' radar that they could come in that's not obviously within the organization? There's a lot of people are just saying, well, if they don't bring in a guy like that, it's going to, and they didn't bring back legendary 13th forward. We all know who we're talking about.
Jovelino.
Joe Veleno. Somebody's gonna come back. So is there
Mason
any
Marchment.
is there
I think Mason Marchment fits the bill. He's 31
well
years old.
I think if that's the case, like I think right now he's more of a top six.
Yeah. Michael Bunting is another guy that could probably come in and fill a small role.
Right.
We all know he can play well with a talented person on his side. He's
Yeah.
the, look what um but again, I'm looking at the UFA now and no one jumps out at me.
There's not a lot.
Absolutely no one jumps out at me.
If I'm looking at just kind of like a disruptive pain in the ass type player, one that I was looking at before he got signed was that Beck Melenstein from Buffalo. I thought he was just a little son of a bitch during the whole playoffs. Another one that jumped out to me just because of watching the Western League or watching the Western League, the Western Conference was Jeffrey VL. Right.
But again, what are you signing? Are you signing someone to come? Because if you look at the makeup of our roster,
yep,
where's he going? Are we just signing a 13th forward?
But at the same time,
you know what I mean?
But at the same time, everyone was hot to get a guy like Greer, and they were ready to make the roster spot open for him.
Because even if you look at the team now without getting anyone, even with Gallagher and that gone, I mean, you have your top line. Yep. You have your Demidov, Newhook, and Kapanen. You have your Anderson, Bolduc, and Evans. You have your Deneau. You still got Philip Deneau, and then with Philip Deneau, you got who am I missing here?
You still got
Texier and
as well, yeah.
So you really only have one open spot. You only got to
start like it's gonna be more of a competitive. I think we're gonna see a good competition.
You got Kirby Doc, and you got they offer or not offer sheet, but they qualified him if they re-sign him. So where's the way I see it is why are we signing a player that's not going to be improve on a player we already have on the roster? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's why I think it's going to be a trade.
And it more than likely will.
I
think what they're going to try to do is they're going to probably try to move multiple pieces. And if they can move multiple pieces to make the whole, or that creates a whole, this is the kind of player, this type of player can come in and fill that role.
And this is why I'm looking at guys like I know Robertson today. I read Robertson's on Montreal's radar now, and Robertson has said he would play in Montreal. Merchant, if they're going to make a trade, and that's fine. We got to start paying for players. Like I hear this all the time. Oh, no, Suzuki and everyone's going to get mad if they pay them.
No.
I don't care. You pay them 12, 13 million.
Sure, pay them 15. But pay the right guy.
Correct.
50.
I would. Was Robertson worth 15?
That's Montreal.
I'd say that's Montreal.
No, but
he turned down. Apparently, he turned down like 15.6.
But did he turn that down because he didn't want to play for the team?
It was Seattle. It was 100%.
Because it was a no tax state.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like now. If he played for Montreal for 12, maybe 13, maybe
that'd probably be a really good deal.
I'd be okay. I'd be okay with that.
Well, that's the same.
It's
the same type of money for that a Rantanen or a Marner would make, right? Like two different players, obviously, but we see what they bring to their organizations and then there's that price point.
And then there's Marchenko.
Right?
Are we going to pay him 10, 11 million? Right. He's a multiple 30 goal scorer. So I mean, but that's just like you're looking at the league now, and the 30 goal scorer is netting you $10 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Really? You know what I mean? Like, okay, so that means 3 years ago Gallagher should have got 10 million, not 6.5.
Yes.
It's a valued contract.
Right, and then you got to look at it too. Like, how long are we signing these guys for?
Yep.
Right, like
Marchenko didn't even score 30 goals last year.
No, he had 27.
No, he had 27. He had 27. He had 31 the year before.
31 the year before. Yeah. Now, Columbus isn't exactly known for being an offensive team.
No,
but he had positive expected goals for. Put up a lot of. He's got 67 points this season, 74 the season before. But think you put him with a Demidov, that goes up to maybe what 80, 85
Yeah.
points.
And then you have
So,
what?
yeah.
Possibly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that could get you 80 points.
Now is that
Suzuki,
guy worth 11
Caulfield.
million bucks?
Yes.
Yes.
But here's the thing too. You're not just paying for that player's production. You're paying for that player to make one of your future star players' production even better. So you're
Yes.
not just, even if he gets 60 to 70 points, as long as Demidov's getting 80 points, but you also got to look too. Demidov's going to need a contract extension either this year or next, and so if you're going to go out and pay Marchenko 11 million to play for your team, well then Demidov's going to ask for 12 to 13. So if
Well,
you
I
kind of,
think Demidov's going to end up signing for about 9.5 this summer.
Yep,
I think so too.
I can see that. Like, you see, July he's going to sign 9.5. Yeah,
But again, if you make that move for say Marchenko before you re-sign Demidov, and you give Marchenko 11 million on an extension because he's still got a year left in his the contract he currently has, why would Demidov ask for less? You
Right.
almost have to sign Demidov first.
Yeah, well, yeah, but this is where all that the guys leaving money on the table. This is where that money gets spent.
Yeah. Well, and again,
So-
you could, if you're Hughes, you could say, "Hey, Demidov, I know we want to sign
Yeah.
you. This is our number. Yes, this guy's
But
probably
we
going to
want to
get
do
more,
this.
but this is what we want to do, and this is why we're
Yeah.
giving you this. You're still going to be technically the highest paid guy on our core because you came up with the team, but personally, just thinking outside the box here, I read about this too. I don't know who said it was, if it was Engels or Friedman, but one of them mentioned, yeah, that it could be a fact that Montreal may already have a deal for Marchenko, in the process of, yeah, we got it. Columbus will accept this deal on the sense that Marchenko will sign a extension, right?
Yeah.
However, Montreal's like, well, why don't we hold off because we want to sign Demidov first, so that next year we're not like, we got to fight with Demidov because now he wants this. Now we could always say he loves the team, wants to be there. He might take a discount, but let's not get into Leafland where they think everyone that comes to Toronto will take a discount. So,
right.
Like I don't like to sit there and say, oh, he should take a discount when I don't know Demidov from a hole in the wall. So I would like to hope he would because Montreal's a family, but who knows? Who knows? I'll be a pessimist.
That's why we bring you back
Bring everyone down. I'm the anchor.
to bring us down to keep it realistic. That's why you're in charge of training.
I do agree, Blain. I do agree that Demidov will be signed to a contract for around $9.5 million this summer. I do believe that.
Because he's going to leave money on the table.
Correct. Hopefully, but I do believe I would like to see them do that before they go out and get a Marchenko or Robertson. I don't think you could argue. Robertson's had his time in the league. He's been one of the better players in the league for years now. I'm not going to pay him $15 million to be a Montreal Canadian. That's for damn sure. But I mean, 12, I'd settle for 12, 13 at the most, just because of the tax and the weather. So, and I go, a lot of people say, no, we got to fix the tax, but they got to remember too, you pay the tax for whatever state or province you're playing in for that game. So not all no tax states players are getting no tax on their, because you pay tax for wherever your game is.
You got to start looking at some of these players as well that, yes, they want to get the big payday, but at the same time, some of these guys want to look at their careers and they want to play in the best area that they think that they can win a Stanley Cup.
And this also goes back to what we said about Gallagher. Players see what Hughes did for these players. So if they come there and say they sign a 6-year deal and then Montreal, for some reason, starts to tank in year 3, you know what I mean? They're going to look and say, well, hey, listen, we tried. It didn't work.
Yep.
Can you do me I'd like to go play for these guys.
Yep.
If Ken Hughes is still there, mind you, I'd like to go play for these guys. And then Ken Hughes will be like, sure. Because I believe Ken Hughes and Jordan are up for contract. Their contract and St. Louis, their contracts are all almost up too, I think. So
No, they signed new ones.
did they sign new ones already?
Well,
I
St.
thought
Louis
this
did.
year. Oh, did he? Okay. But I thought this year or next year they were all
Yeah,
ready for
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
No, I don't think it is either.
No.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's going to be a fun off season. And it's going to be fun because so many people, Montreal fans, are either doom or it's either greatest day on earth or we're all
Yeah.
going to be killed by Godzilla. Like it's there's no in between, and you have to Ken Hughes is very patient. He doesn't make a move unless he knows it's going to improve or he really believes it's going to improve the team. And I think you can look at his track record. There hasn't been too many moves he made that really hurt the team. Like even dock
He's
trades.
aggressive
So
when he does.
yeah, so even the dock trades. So we got rid of Romanov, and did that hurt us? No, didn't hurt us at all. Romanov got replaced with Hudson. So you know what I mean? Like and then with the new Hook trade, did that really ruin us? No, it didn't. Did it make us better? Didn't make us worse. You know what I mean? Like, and they're the only two deals I could sit back and hear someone's argument that they were bad deals and go, yeah, you got a point. You know what I mean? You got a point. But were they? Were they really? They just weren't great deals. You know what I mean? Like they weren't.
They're going to be better deals, especially Newhook when he can be plotted into a spot where he should be playing, and he doesn't have to play up and down the lineup. But when he can
Well, he
be
doesn't.
like,
He doesn't have an identity. Is he a
right,
center? Is he a winger? Is he
right,
a third liner? Is he a second liner? What is
right.
he? Right. So
So do you shore up that second line? You can plug these guys into the positions that they should be in, and like, not to go too off topic of UFAs and everything, but um, if you shore up the second line, you're not seeing a guy like Jake Evans have to move into a second line role, or you can say, okay, you're a really good defensive forward, and so is Phil Deneau. You both can win faceoffs. You can also play the wing. Do you see a guy like Evans possibly moving to a wing, and then that opens up another spot somewhere for maybe a guy like Owen Beck or something like that, or Florian Jacki or something to take
I
on that
yeah,
position, right?
I personally don't see Owen Beck being a Montreal Canadian in the NHL.
Well, he
Personally,
is NHL ready. So
he
if
is.
they're not
I
going
just
to
don't.
let him use him.
I think he looks better at the NHL level than he does the AHL level. He
I
plays with
agree.
Use him in a
he
trade then.
plays with pace, right? He plays with
But
pace.
he's not taking Deneau's spot. He's not taking Evans'
No,
spot, and
no.
he's not
Play
a
on the
winger.
wing.
No, he's the center.
He's too good of a face-off guy to be stuck on the wing,
Yeah,
not taking
yeah. He's a
face-offs.
But
center,
he can still take face-offs. He just shift to the wing as soon as it's taken.
right?
I
And he can
suppose.
win them on both sides. So,
Yeah.
But I just Florian Jacki, I can see making as a fourth line player. He
well,
has
these are the two
Ration
guys that
bag.
were these are the two guys that were like some of the last cuts. So I can see them being hungry going into this year.
And maybe that's the thing. Maybe they get rid of Arbor Jacki and like, okay, well, we have Jacki at home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Florian comes up because he can do the same
We've got
thing
Jacki at home. We're not buying another Jacki. We've got some Jacki at home.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like they're like, okay, they play a similar game, but one's a forward,
Yeah.
and one's a defenseman. We don't need the defenseman. We need the forward.
Mm-hmm.
So Jacki can go to someone else. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Jacki.
They're keeping them guys together.
I don't want to see Jacki go,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
someone got to go. Someone that somebody likes, someone that
one of
we
them-
all like
Yeah,
has
well,
to go.
That's how it
go.
works.
But they're not.
Yeah.
They're not going to split that family up right now. It's not going to happen.
And I don't see it being Caulfield, Suzuki, or Slafkovsky, or like if I were to say the people I know will not get traded off this roster, it's the first line, it's Hudson, Dobson, and it's Demidov. Other than that, I think anybody is game.
Yeah, pretty much. If they're not legitimately part of the core, then they're fair game.
Yeah.
The value you get in return, that matters. It's not just for anything, mind you.
Yeah.
But they'd be open to a trade. Um, so yeah, that's it. It's all definitely possible. Just because we're running out of some time here, I just wanted to bring up one more thing before we cut out, and that is Carey Price and the Hall of Fame. The Canadians have another Hall of Fame player.
Does this get his number retired?
I was going to ask you guys that. What do you think?
Uh, I hope they do retire his number. However, there's not yet been a number retired that hasn't won a Stanley Cup. There's even a guy who won a Stanley Cup who has his number retired that doesn't have his name in the rafters because it was the same time as Jean Beliveau and Joliot.
Oreja, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why that hasn't been rectified. But anyway, um, I will say, based on the fact he didn't win a cup, no, he won't get his number retired. But he'll get on the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I think he
Matt?
should, but
I think just based on the fact that he was such a dominant player and he was a fan favorite to a lot of the young generation, I could see I get what you're saying 100% about the cup part, but everything he did at the Olympic level and the world, like at the international level, I think it's enough. He I think it's gonna happen.
yeah, but the international level won't count
I
towards
know, I
Montreal
know,
retiring his
It,
number.
I know, but it's
it
just
means nothing.
it's just it's what he brings to, or what he brought to that team.
So I don't think he's going to get his number retired. But if there's one player out of the no cup era in the last 30 some odd years that
He's the guy.
could,
He's the guy.
he's the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think he should. I just don't think he will.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting. But again, I wouldn't be against it if it happened.
I would
100%.
protest outside because Kovalev isn't up there too.
Oh, he's the only 80-point fucking player that he played with, right? So,
Should just have
Do
a
you
little piece on the banner.
right,
do you think he signs with Montreal for a day to retire?
yeah,
God, I hope so.
yeah, he will.
That would be so
Because
nice.
him and Shea Weber, their contracts are up this year. So we'll see if they come back home for a day. And
No,
well, Shea Weber,
Weber go back to Nashville.
this guy doesn't. Well, Weber's played for 4 teams now: Nashville, Montreal, Vegas, and Arizona.
Utah.
Utah, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
Utah, yeah. And Carey
I
Price,
think it'll happen. I think it'll happen.
you think San Jose will retire Carey Price's number?
They should. He's the greatest goaltender that ever was part of
It's
that
the one
organization.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
greatest one they ever had.
Yeah,
I mean,
suck it, Nabokov.
hey, Artur Zerbe I was a fan favorite of the
Yeah.
Wall.
Yeah.
Well, his pads were epic, but
And
that's
those
about it.
42-inch pads that he wore.
The cage.
The pads came right up to here.
Oh yeah. All right, so we only got a couple minutes left. We'll do some final thoughts. Matt, real quick.
Happy to have everybody back. That's the biggest thing to for me on the show is we've done this for a long time, and we've got some really busy careers, but it's really good when we can all get together. I think it enhances the show, and it brings the best out of all of us, and we can kind of pick on each other and shit. And I think it really brings a different dynamic to the show, that's for sure.
Perfect. Yeah, we're gonna mute you now. Treg, what about you?
Glad to be back. I agree with Matt. We're three busy guys that I mean, two of us are close to retirement, the other one not so much. But I just want to say out there to Habs fans, just relax. It's only a
Chill
game.
out.
It is just a game.
Why be so bad?
Why be so
Only-
bad?
Only half game.
Oh, I had a game. It's this game. Just be happy. Kent's going to take his time. He's going to do what's right for the team from now in the future. So if you don't see that big if you see small UFA signings, there's a reason for that. And just relax. We're okay. We're okay.
It's summer. Enjoy the summer.
We're okay. It's okay.
Why be so mad?
Well, I'd be so mad.
So tomorrow is Canada Day. I want to wish all of our Canadians, listeners and friends and family a happy Canada Day. Remember, when launching fireworks, don't close your hand on those because you won't have your hand anymore.
But you can still play NFL football.
Yeah, apparently. So, practice safe fireworks. Don't drink and blow up or drive specifically. We want you guys to be around next week because, our ratings need to go up. So
And you put me on?
yeah, well, sorry.
Oh.
But so basically what this does, we are now officially, as of this episode, in our 11th season. So I want to thank everybody who's been supporting us for over a decade. I am sorry. We try to do better, but we're sorry.
We're in our
sorry.
Koivu Gallagher era.
So again, thank you so much for listening. And remember, if you're talking about it, so are we.